one of the main benefits of using the React stack is the fact you get slick interactions and that single page application, really nice loading transitions. And so that's what I wanted for my first BigCommerce app. My first version of it looks like this. It has the category list. You get to go to a category and edit the rules for that category, saying perhaps you want to set a sale price. If the sale price exists, then put it in this blinds category, albeit you don't want to do that in the sale category, but you get the idea. Now, my frustration with it is going back and forth. I have a nice loading spinner, but I really wish that it wouldn't take the second or two, and I can optimize the APIs to respond fast and all, throw more servers at it. But I felt like I wanted an intelligent caching strategy that just had a little bit of lightweight caching in there. Now, if you're in the React ecosystem, you will have heard of SWR, which uses the stale while revalidate strategy for all of your HTTP requests, which essentially means show the old thing and I'll go in the background and check if there's anything new to tell you about. Incorporating that into the hooks that I had for data fetching took about an hour, just kind of getting familiar with the library and wrapping them with SWR. But it now means that going back and forth between the categories, they're instantaneous. And even if I make a change and say save this category, I can go back and forth, and it's still immediately there. It hasn't, provided the old cache. The worst thing I want to do with implementing a caching strategy is then I serve old cache when I'm not meant to. You can instruct a SWR when you need to refresh the cache. So I was incredibly impressed with how quickly I got this up and running and how it made that just next level in terms of slick interaction. So I didn't even need to show a loading spinner. This is the code for it, so feel free to judge me on my first React app and the first custom hook that I've written. But this hook fetches that list of categories and returns that state. So this on the left-hand side, I have a simple use effect hook that is doing that just on the first kind of initial component mount and saves the categories. But obviously on every mount of that component or any component that uses this hook, it's going to make that fetch request again. Whereas on the right-hand side, we have our component, our hook using SWR, which is a little bit shorter, which is always nice. But other than that, it essentially does the same thing. You have to pass in a fetcher because it doesn't actually do the HTTP request itself. So still using Axios to make my request. And I've disabled a couple of the options that SWR have. So every time you focus on a component, and normally it would revalidate, i.e. go and make a request to make sure you've got the latest data. That felt like it was a little bit making too many requests for my liking. So turned that off, and I also turned off revalidate when reconnect. The context of this app is that it's within the BigCommerce admin, so it's not like it's going to be a long-lived single page application. So I decided to turn those off. Other than that, it's very simple, much less that is needed in the use effect hook, and yeah, really impressed with how quickly it was to get up and running. It's not a massive deal, but it did make the UX a little bit better, and yeah, I'll be using this for I think every request that I ever make again in React. So yeah, thanks very much.